welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I am Dustin. We are looking at Tesla once again. What a fascinating stock. And I just want to say, I love this stock. Not for any other reason, the fact that you get true moves. If you look to the side here, this actual setup that we have, this is a trade range. It's dynamically setting and resetting. What I love is that Tesla just moves. It doesn't just ever stagnate. It doesn't just sit in one place. It goes up, it goes down, the ball is high. You might get your face ripped off, but that's what makes it Tuesday. So if we look at Tesla, it was essentially flopping around at 47 basis points. Over 5 days, it's really gone nowhere, 37 basis points down. It is up over the past 15 days, up over the past 1 month. 3 months, weirdly enough, again, not much movement. We look at the 6 months, we're up 40%, and the 1 year is at negative 321 basis points. This is probably the most interesting, again, one of the most interesting stocks that exists in my lifetime, if not in the entire world. Because if we look, let's look at the raw data underlying. The raw data that's underlying right now says that Tesla has essentially been on a tear very recently. 9/11 was the high, never forget. You can see that we had 147 million shares traded that day. Today we are down to a measly 103 million shares. I mean, we are up over yesterday. We are in the middle of the range too, which is to be noted that when you see the green background with the black lettering, it means we're within 1 standard deviation of the 23-day moving average. That does mean something. We're below our 5-day moving average. We're still below our 23-day, and the 5-day is still above the 23-day, but it is sinking quick. We look here at what we have, though. It does look like the volatility has been breaking out, which I don't really love that the volatility is breaking out. The price is starting to break down. We can see the volatility to rise has definitely been reflected in the volatility breaking out. We do see price to rise, the future price path. That's the signal that we want to trust right now. But we are negative on the 5-day rolling. I don't necessarily know if I believe in it, though. And the reason why is because we are still positive on the 15-day, the 1 month, the 3 month, and the 6 month. They may not be much, like specifically in the 3 month, but they may be coming down quite a bit like they are in the 1 month, but things are still very positive. If we look at the signals in the short term, we still got to go along in the intermediate term and the longer term. Looks like we've got a bearish on the short term and intermediate term, and on the longer term, we've got bullishness. I really do respect the type of move that we're seeing in terms of the bullishness overall. If we look at the rolling sentiment, we are on a falling bear, which as much as I do say that there's definitely a falling bear that's existing right there, tomorrow could be a very interesting day. Could completely change it, because when I look at the 2-year sentiment, we've come so far. Since the middle of August on the 23rd, we have come so far. We've come up to 51% bullishness. The bullishness is above the 15-day moving average. This 15-day moving average, it looks like it's smiling. Like it's got a slight smile, like it did back here in May before we got that huge run into the middle of June. And then it rolled over for the entire summer, and we had nothing but bearishness in Tesla essentially until very recently. But things look different. I mean, if we look at the trading signals, this is what I have to put my faith in, at least at this moment, is that we've got most recently rise and valleys. We've got more of the bull Q3. We see some big bulls, which I know that means nothing to you. We've got small bulls, and we've got a swift bull. I think the swift bull might be the thing that matters the most to me, and I'll describe that. A swift bull, what that means is that it means that this right here is bullish. So a swift bull, let's not make you sick. If we look at a swift bull, what it means is that this is bullish, as well as the weekly is currently bullish. Now, the longer term is currently bullish when it comes to Tesla. The short term it's been a little mixed, to be honest. It's been bearish for quite a few weeks here, which again, we talked about that from the end of July or the end of June until the middle of August, where essentially things were terrible. That was reflected in the weekly bearishness in terms of sentiment. On the intermediate term for the weekly, that is also reflected. But on the longer term, this thing has still been bullish. And very recently, very, very recently, we've seen it flip bullish again on the shorter term, or at least on the daily longer term. So what we want to believe right now, that as we pulled back to this 260 level, maybe, hell, let's look at what the trend level is. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but hell, I mean, that's quite a ways. 212 is the trend level, which, whatever, you'd be bullish all the way down to 212. That's at least what I'd say right now. I mean, I think you want to respect that level. It's going to reset as time goes on. We'll really see where this goes, but it's going to kind of stair step up. It's really going to stair step up. I would honestly say you're probably going to look at a low, probably like in the 250s is what you really want to believe would probably be a low, maybe the 245s. But the one thing that I want to pay attention to over the next few days is this bearishness. The bearishness that we're supposed to see as of tomorrow. It depends what the price is. This is just a reflection based on the data that we have through today. We still need tomorrow to actually update this. You don't just reflect this based on one thing. You need it to be reflected based on a couple different things, the calculation that goes into it. But we do see those bear signals. We do see a falling bear. I still want to believe the party's gone, though. I'll be honest. If we look at the overall charts, I mean, you can see that Tesla has, again, the reason why I love it is because you get the swings. You get the bottoms, you get the tops, you get the bottoms, you get the tops. This thing will move. If we look at the daily sentiment indicator as well, even on the daily, which is not the 2 day, this is much more slow. This is probably like a 23-day rolling average of bullishness. You're looking at, it's above 50%. It's at 52. The 15-day moving average, while, yes, obviously you see those bullishness maybe starting to come down. The 15-day moving average is rolling up. The price is going to be above 50%. The volume has not actually been rising while we've seen the price falling. That's been significant. Look at the volatility. The volatility is breaking up. The issue here is that the correlation is negative. If we could see, and this is what's positive, the correlation is starting to rise. You see that rise? You see that little hump there, that little U? That means that the correlation is starting to rise while the volatility is breaking up. That means the price could really start to just like gap. It could gap higher. I mean, again, this is not financial advice. I mean, this is some guy with a model on Tesla that he made. But when I look overall at what the price action is telling us, we're seeing higher highs. It looks like, or we're seeing recent highs now in the trade range. We're seeing the bottom of the range come up. We would hope to see this thing break up above 300. That's been a big level for Tesla. 300 would be a great level for Tesla to break out to. We look at the large version of the daily ultra fast sentiment. Things again, they're hovering around that 52%, 51. They're just hovering. When we think about what we could see, we do want to again pay attention to the end of this week. I think there's a Fed meeting that could affect Tesla, but I'm interested in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? And before you go, subscribe to the No High newsletter. We give you 25 stocks to your inbox every single Sunday. Stocks between $5 and $20. Stocks breaking out to 1-year highs. Stocks breaking out to all-time highs. It's a great list to review to get your trading week started. I'll talk to you soon.